What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's great to see you again. This week we're up for episode number 2 of the new series, Shoot a Roll In. This week we're going to Yellowstone National Park. Shoot a roll in Yellowstone National Park. We've got the Yashica twin lens reflex camera out again. Video starts out, we're going to Old Faithful, and then to a couple of the geyser basins, and finally we're going to end up down in the Firehole Canyon on the Firehole River. 2 nice waterfalls down there. Let's take a look. Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. That's the Old Faithful parking lot. I'm in Yellowstone today, and I decided I'm gonna try a little something. We'll see how long it lasts. I'm gonna try to take 12 photos with my Yashica camera, which is an entire roll, 6x6, in a particular spot. So the first time I did it by accident. I did it in Theodore Roosevelt. Although there's only 11 frames, and I'm trying to fix that with this one. But yeah, we're here at Yellowstone National Park today, and here at Old Faithful, and we're gonna take a picture here, and then we're gonna go to Grand Prismatic and some places like that. I don't know how photogenic they'll be on black and white film, but so I hate doing jump cuts like that because they irritate me so bad when I see them on other people's videos. But there's a lot of people talking because, I mean, obviously there's a lot of people here. But anyway, I'm walking out here at Old Faithful. I'm certainly not going to video whatever I do out here because there's just too many people. But I'm going to walk out here and I'll see where else I can get 12 photos. I didn't bring my camera out when we went to the paint pots. I probably should have, because there were some neat pictures there. If you watch some of my other videos with just my digital, I'll have some pictures of that. But as far as with this square format black and white, it's just going to be here and then wherever we go back out. But anyway, I'm getting into a lot of people, so I'll be back with some pictures. So here we go with the first image. This is Old Faithful, as you can see. But one thing I tried to do, and I tried to do this through a lot of the stuff that I did in this video, I didn't just want Old Faithful. We've all seen pictures of Old Faithful all over the place. Some of them probably a lot better than what I can do. But what I wanted to do was specifically show all the other stuff that was around Old Faithful. You've got all this ground that's here in front of me. You can see down there on the bottom part of the image, it looks like a buffalo decided that he was just going to use the bathroom right there. Bison. Really need to get used to doing that. It's a bison, not a buffalo. Anyway, and you can see in the back, behind the waterfall, or behind the geyser even, if I can speak, you can see the inn. And so I intentionally wanted to frame this so you can see the inn back there, because we see these pictures of Old Faithful on the internet, and it makes it look like this just this really majestic place, and it is. I don't want to undersell it. It is a very majestic place, but it's definitely also part of civilization. It's got this big parking lot and hotel complex. It's like 160 acres. There's walkways all over the place. You're shoulder to shoulder, 10 people deep when you're trying to watch the geyser erupt, if you're actually on the side of it that has the boardwalk and the seats. And it's just, you're out there and it's so hot, and it's just not really an enjoyable experience. I've been there in the winter, which I found to be a much more enjoyable experience as far as Yellowstone goes, because there's so fewer people there. But during the summer, it's just not all that enjoyable. So that's part of what I wanted to show in these images, is that there's so much human contact in these places that it's just all around, and you just can't get away from it, at least not in the touristy places of Yellowstone, which is where, probably 90% of the visitors go. So, walked a little further. We're at Black Sand Basin now. You saw the 2 pictures I took at Old Faithful. Just took 2 pictures over there. I believe it was called Cliff Geyser. I should probably look at that. I'll post it on here, whatever it was. And we're just walking around looking at small thermal features that are here. We were thinking about walking back to Mystic Waterfalls, but we're not going to do that. I hurt my leg a little bit yesterday, and So I don't think we're gonna go all the way back. But I mean, look at that. Just look at this. I mean, it's just, everywhere you turn up here, you know, it's just unbelievable stuff. I sort of wish I could get off of the trail or off the path a little bit to do something, but you can't do that because they're worried about you falling in one of these geysers and burning to death. But anyway, that's what we've got here. And you know, walk around, see what else I can get some pictures of. And I don't know. I certainly think I could probably get 2 or 3 more out here. There's some nice wildflowers down here, but they're too far away from the path to really get anything. So have to see what else is out here. But really cool spot out here. So this next image is part of the Black Sand Geyser Basin area. I don't know if it's quite a basin, but it's the Black Sand Geyser area. And this is Cliff Geyser. And I just got 2 images of it erupting. You know, it erupts, it's a small eruption, you know, 30 or 40 feet high, I mean, compared to Old Faithful. And, you know, I just liked how it looked. I liked how I was able to frame it, that it's smaller, but you can still see the water coming up. And, you know, I just thought this one looked neat, how it's set here, and how you could see the river or stream, whatever you want to call it, going there in front of it. And, you know, I just liked how this one framed up. I just thought it was nice and simple and told the story of what was there. For far away from people at all these high traffic spots. And so that, again, goes to this story that I've got going through the images, that you're in this wonderful place, but you're not alone, and there's definite marks of society all around you. This next one's called the Emerald Pool. That's the name of this little geologic feature. And this is one of the ones where the black and white doesn't really do much. I tried to capture the steam coming off, and I mean, that should say how hot these things are, that it was 95 or 100 degrees and just full sunlight, and you could still see the steam coming off these places. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But I wanted to get the water and some of the, you know, the mountains and the trees in the background, and I did some of that. But this is, you know, I'll admit, this is not my favorite image from the roll. For this one, I was able to capture a nice bend in the creek. It's called Iron Spring Creek, and you see the water running into the creek. Now, if I was able to show this, you know, normally there would be colors, it would be, you know, rusty colored and all kinds of stuff all over the place. But, you know, obviously I was using black and white film, and it is what it is. And also in the background, you can see another one of these hot pools. It apparently doesn't have a name, or at least not one that I can find readily. And then on the edge of the frame, you can see that we have that mark of human interaction, where you can see the struts from the bridge that goes across the creek. So, you know, just, you're never far away from humanity when you're in these particular parts of Yellowstone. Now, I wish I could have gone to some of the other parts of Yellowstone. It just wasn't in the cards this time. I was up there with family, and, you know, so I just kind of had to go along with them. I couldn't go off hiking out into the wilderness on a 15-mile hike like I really would have liked to have done. But, you know, that was okay, because this was a family get together, and, you know, I had gotten to do most of that sort of thing that I would have wanted to do while I was in Theodore Roosevelt just a week before. So that's what we were here, and that's, you know, that's what I tried to show as far as this one goes, is that these places in Yellowstone that people go, you can't really get away from people. They're not as, they are and they aren't as majestic as what they seem when you see them in the pictures. So I know this is going to sound terrible, but I really don't remember what I was trying to do here. I think I tried to focus on the 2 trees, the 2 dead trees that you can see, but honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, I like how the line of the hill works and all that, but yeah, I really don't remember what I was trying to go for here. Well, this image had chance to be my favorite image from the trip. I really liked how the tree set and you had this big open area behind it, back kind of into the mountains. But yeah, this was the original. Yeah, I overexposed it, and I'm not really sure how I overexposed it because I mean this is just badly, badly overexposed. You know, 4 or 5 stops, and so I don't know if somehow the shutter speed got wiggled around or something like that because all day I was pretty much on f22 and 1/250th of a second. So shooting 400 film, Sunny 16 would have been f16 and 1/500th because you know the camera doesn't have half shutter speeds, so it would have just been at 1/500th. I went up to f22, went down a stop with shutter speed. So unless I somehow bumped the aperture and don't remember it, I'm actually not sure how this one got so overexposed. But back to the edited version, basically what I had to do was I had to go into Photoshop and I brought the image in and I just put multiple brightness, layers on top of it and just kept bringing the brightness down and playing with the contrast until I could do it. It took well more than one. And I didn't want to do just a simple exposure because then that just grays everything out and I don't think that usually looks good. So I went with the brightness instead of the exposure on this one. But yeah, I mean, you can tell this is, 4 or 5 stops overexposed, and I really liked this image. So I was not very thrilled when it came out like this. So I like the clouds in the sky on this one, probably more so than anything. This is one of the few pictures I was able to get where we could really see the clouds, and I liked it. I liked how the river just leads us straight back into the mountains and then up into the clouds, and I just liked how this one worked. This one was taken about maybe 50 yards from the other one, the previous one that I took that I overexposed by 5 stops. And, I don't remember having to drastically alter my shutter speed for this one. So, again, I'm not sure what happened to get that one so overexposed. But with this one, I really like it. I like how the clouds and the mountains and everything all sort of come together into one nice image. To get the S-bend in the river, but I just couldn't do it. It wasn't there. It was not quite a wide enough angle. But what I did get that I liked was the smoke coming off of this little pool. And this is just a pool that's at the end of the trail that leads you down to Grand Prismatic Spring. We didn't park at the standard parking lot for Grand Prismatic because it had an incredibly long line. I mean, it was just not enjoyable. We were able to find one at sort of a lower parking lot that led to an upper observation deck. And so that was fun to get to. Obviously, I didn't take any pictures of Grand Prismatic with black and white film because why? That would have just absolutely been a waste of a frame because why would you take, a black and white picture of something that's that colorful? So I didn't. And I went with this. You've got the steam coming off the spring, the river, and the mountains in the background. It's not a bad image. I like how I composed it, but not my favorite one from the trip, to be fair. Okay, so I'm not being the best at making these videos. I know there's so many people around, and I just don't really like filming when there's all kinds of people. So anyhow, I think I got a couple right near Grand Prismatic Spring. I got a nice kind of a S-turn in one place, and then this most recent one I just did was I think lower Firehole Falls, but it's definitely one of the Firehole waterfalls on the Firehole River, the canyon right here. It's really nice. We'll go through that. I'll show you those, and let's see where we go next. I got one frame left. Should probably try to make it count. So this is the lower Firehole Falls, and one thing I really like about this particular viewpoint for this waterfall is that it lets you see what's above the waterfall. I think so many times, you know, we as photographers sit out here and take pictures of waterfalls that they do look nice, but, you know, they don't show anything that's behind the waterfall. The waterfall just sort of gets to the top and it ends, and you never see where it goes. And so I really liked this vantage point for this waterfall because it lets you see where the waterfall goes. You don't see very far, but you can see that it goes around the corner. You can see that it's in a, you know, mountain valley and that sort of thing. And I really, really enjoyed that. I wish I would have had, well, you know, now that I say that, that doesn't even make sense. I was gonna say I wish I would have had a tripod, but you know, I didn't have any ND filters for the camera. So even with a tripod, you know, f/22 and maybe 1/100th of a second would have been all I could have gotten, and that's not really going to get the silky water look. You know, that would have been something to have had, you know, Pan F 50 speed film, and then, you know, if you stop it down to f/22, now you're at like a 25th of a second, and you know, maybe you have a 2-stop filter and you can get something. But anyway, I think this would be a good image in like some flat light with, you know, a long exposure. Maybe that's something I can do if I ever get back to Yellowstone and have some time to sort of go to these places. But by this time, I mean, it was late in the day and it was hot and we were just ready to get out of the park. We had been delayed by bison walking down the middle of the road a couple times at this point. And with that, let's go to the last image of the shoot. Well, that's my last photograph. I got that one, that little pine tree, and you can actually see some RVs in the background. I think I took some pictures quite intentionally here because I want to show not only the wild, but also how I just had to basically get down on my knees to get the picture I was looking for and crawl, and so now I'm wore out. But just to show like how much, you know, we do as humans to these places that are just beautiful places, and we just go and mess it up. But anyway, with that, I know I did more talking like off to the side than I've been doing recently, but I kind of had to. Anyway, I appreciate everybody watching. That was 12 photos from Yellowstone National Park, and I'll see you again next time. So I explained a lot of my concept for this one in the other video that I actually did on location, but yeah, I really wanted to show, and that's, you know, it's been a theme as we've gone through these pictures. I really wanted to show exactly what the images look like and what, you know, the component of people being constantly involved in all these things out in Yellowstone. And that's, you know, that's what we had here. You just had this mass of people on the other side of the river, directly at what we were looking for, just sitting there in their RVs because they'd pulled off the road and they were just swimming. And, you know, not that that's not enjoyable. I'm not trying to say it's not enjoyable. I'm not trying to say people should not have fun in national parks. Absolutely, I'm not trying to say that. I'm just, you know, saying that as we sit out in these places, we have to realize that there are other people out there, and, you know, that does take away from the natural aspects of it. And so I think that we can show a more realistic, maybe, image of what the modern visitor to Yellowstone National Park will see. That it's not just, you're not just going to see bison walking around everywhere. I mean, you will, but you're not going to be alone. There's going to be people. Everybody that sees one of these bison is going to pull off the road and all kinds of stuff. And so you're never going to be alone. It's just constantly going to be people when you're at Yellowstone in the modern times. And with that, this video is wrapped. I do appreciate you watching. If you like what you saw, please give a like and subscribe to the channel. That'd be great. It really supports me. And we'll see you again next time. Coming to you with another shoot a roll in. This time we're going to be in Shenandoah National Park with some color Ektar. This has been the second episode, Shoot a Roll in Yellowstone National Park, and I'll see you again next time.